Okay, so hear me out. Hot take. The reason yoga is important in endurance sports is to create a conscious understanding of how the breath is connected to the body in a way like proprioception allows you to have an understanding of awareness when you're breathing. So it allows you to manipulate and control your breath when your body is in different positions. And you could call it flexibility, and it is flexibility. But the way to understand it is to become aware of it. And the way you learn how to do that is by practicing postures while connected to that conscious breath. And I love how Yoga with Adriene presents the mantra, find what feels good. And that's what I repeat to myself in that conscious understanding, that development of that in those postures, which is why doing yoga just from a at home or in class or in all the ways it manifests in Western culture, Western society, the ways you can go get it. Once you develop the conscious understanding of the breath's connection to the body, you can do that breathing anywhere. And it's that extending the inhale and extending the exhale. It's through the nose. It can be called, or I learned about it when thinking about Ujjayi breath, which is, basically you create an ocean sound. Yoga with Adriene, she calls it that. So it's like, it's almost like snoring. And that when you do that, you can feel it going through your body, to your big toe, to your fingertips. At least I can. That's how I'm trying to describe the proprioception of my understanding of what the experience is like, because then your experience of running changes. And that's why I think yoga is important to understand it as breathing and not simply stretching, but it certainly creates that flexibility. That's the physical manifestation, the output you get from the practice. But I think it goes way past that, because you can begin to work on the performance aspect of then that learned knowledge of breathing and your conscious connection with it to your body in motion. And you benefit from having the flexibility to bring the breath from your lungs over and through the hips. And when you have that flexibility, you can put your hands flat on the ground and still breathe. And that's the point, is you're going into these postures to release the tension in the body. And that's the full circle way in, essentially, for runners, is to treat it as a 5-minute practice that you do after your run or before bed, especially when the body is cooling down and getting ready to recover overnight. 5 minutes is all you need to consciously tap into your breath and deliver that. And essentially this is the inverse of your performance ability to drive your breath high and run a fast pace, let's say. That same ability can be inverted to recover So you're trying to breathe as deeply as you can into those tense stretches, and in breathing and creating that awareness, you're pushing in a way, and you're creating space from your dantian, your power center, the belly when you breathe goes out. And so the physical sensations you're looking for in all these poses, and even just, if you haven't heard about belly breathing, I think that's probably the most relatable breathing exercise runners have heard of. When you have a stitch cramp and you're trying to relieve it so that you can keep pushing, that stitch cramp is happening because, you're sucking your stomach in and the muscles are tightening. You can physically push them back out by breathing down and having your stomach go out. And then when you breathe out, contract your stomach. And so that's why in yoga it's the same practice, and they exemplify it in the cat-cow, right? When you're on your hands and knees and you're extending your stomach out and then arching your back. So that's how you're moving your body in all these positions, and it creates the connection. So I'm gonna do a example practice in another video, but I think this is an introduction video to capture, at least from my experience, and try to articulate the connection between why I do yoga as a runner and why I think it's important for runners to have a yoga practice.